Yo, this guy ended up dropping this track. I don't know if you that old school like Figaro, 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 that one, right? He mixed that up and he made it into like a drum and bass, like hard style joint. Like, oh man, I wasn't expecting to be so hyped for that shit drop, but we were like tweaking, like just like running around and like just jumping and screaming and high-fiving and going all out. And then after he dropped that that was whenever all the beer was gone, and then we were like, well, we can't let it end here, right? Like that is too epic to let it end, right? So we're just like, all right, so we decided we're gonna take the party out, right? So we ended up leaving the spot, went back another 45 minutes, and at this time it was probably like the sun was down, maybe like 10, 11-ish, whenever we got back to the area, back to the city center. So, like I said, he was a DJ, right? So he knew where the events were, he knew where the parties were. So he was like, "Hey, all right, so we're gonna go to this little spot that I know of." And one of my DJ friends, he's hosting like a little event. We're gonna go in there and show some love. And I was like, "Hey, by all means, let's do it, guy." So we get there, and we just wander in, and we're behind the homie, just kicking it. And then he daps up one guy, tells him like, "Hey, these are the homies." He's like, "All right," and then he lets him down like through like this door, and he's like, "Come on." So we ended up going through this door, going downstairs a couple steps, and then there was a couple of rooms. All right, so we ended up going into like the second or third room. It was a green room, not like you think like the rest of the room like before you go out and party and no, like the room was green. Everything in it was green. All the walls were green. The chair was green. There's like one chair, and there was one refrigerator that was green. The weirdest shit I've ever seen. I was like, okay. So he looked at me, I was like, "What are we doing down here?" He was like, "Open up the fridge." I was like, "It better not be a severed head." That's all I know. I was like, "All right, bro." Went in there, took it, opened up the door, stocked full of alcohol. So much. And it wasn't like beer. It was like straight up like bottles of liquor. I was like, oh, fuck. It's gonna be one of those nights. He was like, "Oh yeah, grab one." I was like, "What do you mean grab one? Don't have cups. Like, I'm not gonna grab a bottle of liquor, right?" He's like, "No, grab the bottle." I grabbed the bottle of rum. He put it inside his bag, and he was like, "Hey, we're drinking this tonight. All right? We're drinking it all." I was like, oh, fuck. It's one of those nights. Okay. So by this time, his other two DJ friends already meandered into the party. They're doing their own thing. And then we decided we wanted to hit up Long Street. All right, now, Long Street or Longstrasse, that's like the Swiss equivalent of like Austin 6th Street. But it's like 6th Street, but with even more like prostitution. Yeah, prostitutes. Toots were everywhere. And how I knew was that they always have like, it'd be a bad bitch, right? And like an old white guy in tow, like, just kind of with his head down and kind of walking. And then what they would do, they would have the guy stop by like a liquor store, because there's liquor stores all down Long Street, as well as clubs, and as well as like housing. So it was just a mix of just people and debauchery and so they would have him go to like a little corner store, go buy like some alcohol and condoms or whatever, and then take him up to the room and then continue to do whatever the they did. I'm not speculating, okay? So I was like, no, that's game. So by the time we ended up getting to Long Street, like I said, we ended up partying at that spot maybe about 3 o'clock, right? And then we took the bottle and like we actually had to jump over a fence because we got locked out. We got locked out of the club that we were at. We jumped over the fence. We took off, and then that's how we made it to Long Street. Now, by this time, it was probably like 4:30, 5 a.m. On Long Street, and we looked at the bottle, it was pretty much empty. We had like a little bit, like, you know, a little corner left, and we all kind of took the last little swigs, chunked the bottle, and then he was like, all right, so what's the verdict? Like, what are we gonna do? And unanimously, we're like, well, we can get one more. We can get one more drink, right? They're like, okay, cool. So we went into the nearest bar. This was like I said, like 4 or 5 in the morning. Like Swiss, they don't like you don't have to stop drinking at like 2 o'clock like you do down here in the States, right? So I went into the bar, and apparently it was like a mini brothel. Like there was a madame in there and sitting on the corner. So the homies went to go like f*** ladies, and I went to the bar. And I got a Heineken. Okay, so I was drinking a little Heineken, you know, taking a sip. And this, from here on out, this is all accounts of the homies because I was gone, zooted to the max, right? So they say that I drank my little beer, finished it, and I stood up. For some reason, I don't know if I was ready to go, I don't know if I was trying to dance or something, but I stood up and I kind of stumbled a little bit, and then I caught myself. You know how you catch yourself on the bar when you like kind of trying to get your foot in, so like, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just trying to get my shit together. So, and then they said I tried to do it again, and I stumbled, but this time I didn't catch myself, and I straight up like did like a full 1.5 layout swan dive on a mini bar, yo. It was so much carnage, so much destruction. I think I like crushed like 20 bottles of like alcohol, like whatever they're decent or not. Like 20 bottles were like just all over me because I like did like a power dive into that shit, right? And everybody was just staring at me like, bro, like what the fuck did you do? And then I got it like a crackhead. I was like, what happened? Oh, that looks bad. And I was like, all right, bro, we gotta get you out. So they were like trying to drag me out of the bar, right? But the bar owner, of course, heard the commotion, came down, and then he like grabbed my arm as we were trying to leave. He's like, no, you're not going anywhere. 1, someone's got to pay for this, and 2, you're too drunk to be on the street. And then he was doing this like English and in German, cussing and just going off, right? So like we weren't, needless to say, we weren't really going anywhere because he had like a gorilla grip on me, and I wasn't trying to fight nobody. I couldn't barely stand at that point, and I was drenched in alcohol. And the homie said that maybe they were talking to the dude maybe like 3 to 5 minutes, and then the cops showed up. Okay, cops showed up, ended up taking me outside, put me on the wall, and I was just like, you know, just like this. And then the homie had me on this side, the DJ had me on this side, and the DJ was trying to talk to the police, saying like, hey man, you know, things kind of been f***ed up, you know, everything was in German, trying to explain, right? And the cop was just looking at me, he was like, with the, you know, the little walkie-talkie thing, he was like looking at me like, And then he got a call with the walkie, and he was like, shh, hold on, German, I don't f*** German, Looked at me, shh, hold on, looked at me again. Then he looked at the DJ, he was like, what? And the DJ looked at me, and he was like, yeah, oh yeah, we got him. I know, yeah, he f***ed up, he knows he f***ed up, everything was wrong, and he's, you know, we're gonna get him out of here and take him home. We got him. Super. He looked at me one more time, let me go, and the bumped. The cops took off. Yo, after the cops took off, needless to say, we ran as fast as we could home, well, as fast as they could, you know, my legs can take me, because, you know, so it's, being pulled over by the cops in any kind of capacity is definitely sobering. So I have my legs back after the cops let me go, and we hauled to the nearest tram, got on that, went to my crib, smoked a little bit, and then proceeded to pass out for a good like 8 hours. Just done.